All right, everyone. Right now, we're in the Hoka Fly Lab here in Orlando, Florida. It is the Olympic Trials weekend. We're excited. We're even more excited that Bekah Broe is with us. Bekah is the Director of Product Performance Footwear at Hoka.
Nailed it. Nice.
And we're excited to have her here. Now, you walked us through the whole 2024 product line for Hoka at the running event. I got to say, people were kind of a fan of you. How do you feel about that?
It's scary. I have a reputation now, I guess. I mean, honestly, it's fun. I love shoes. I get to talk about shoes for my job. So it's pretty awesome, to be honest.
I will say, out of pretty much everyone we talked to at the running event, you were like, you had it down. Do you agree,
Mom
Meg?
is going to be like so proud that my theater background is finally coming in handy here.
That's where it came from.
I feel like though we also caught you like very early, and so we got like the best of Bekah like ready to go.
It was like first morning, first thing,
it was the first meeting, first morning.
Yeah,
so.
we were all super fresh and like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed before TRE starts to wear on you.
That is fair.
Okay, so for people who maybe didn't see the video or don't know Bekah like we do, can you talk to us a little bit about how you got into the industry in the first place?
Yeah, I did not know that this was a thing that one could do. I went to college for music. And I originally started in college running cross country and track. I've been running since I was a kid. I remember like chasing my dad around on the farm for the first time, thinking like running is really cool. There was literally a dinner bell on the farm where I grew up.
No way. So like when it was your mom rang the dinner bell to come in?
I kid you not. And I remember the first time I beat my dad and I was like, competitive fire unleashed. So like, I don't know. I've always loved running. And then I worked in a running shoe store part-time during college and was doing like the whole music major thing, and then ended up managing the store and just kind of never left.
Wow.
And found myself at Hoka years later, which has
amazing.
been really fantastic.
So where did you grow up then?
I grew up in Illinois. So I was an Illinois farm girl.
That is real farm country out there.
Yep.
I feel like when I've been in Illinois, I remember being in some of those places where there's not even names for roads. It's just numbers because it's just all cornfields.
County road number. Yeah.
Forever. There's no names. I live on a number. That's
Midwesterners
cool.
out there, they understand this.
Yeah. That's
so
awesome.
What happened with the singing though? Are you still singing?
So I was actually a trumpet player through college.
Okay.
So I like taught trumpet lessons. I did all sorts of nerdy music stuff, but always did running on the side too. So I've been super lucky. I've always had like these two passions that have just kind of ebbed and flowed, but trumpet isn't like a cool party trick that you can pull out, right? It's not like your friends are hanging around a campfire and you're like, let's jam on my trumpet.
So you're saying there's potential by the end of this weekend that we could form a ska band.
Oh, what do you got?
I play bass, so we could figure it out, I think.
Let's go.
We're only like 2 pieces away from bringing back the 90s.
I have a DJ on my team.
Really?
DJ BJ. So we got a ringer there too.
All right. We're doing this.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
That's actually what's happening in the Fly Lab. We're just putting we're putting together a ska
the Fly
band
Lab
with
ska
a
band.
DJ.
I like it.
Oh man.
All right, so we are at Hoka. So talk to us about how you ended up at Hoka.
Yeah, I think when I was working at the shoe store, I got to meet amazing people in the industry. And that was the first time when I actually realized, oh, this is something that you can do as a career. And I met people who were in sales at different brands, who were in product at different brands. And I really gravitated toward product. I thought there was something just so cool about being able to work directly with runners and figure out what they needed and what they wanted, and then kind of find that path to actually building it. So my career, I've been on the industry side now for more than 10 years and had a great long tenure at New Balance and just was ready for a change. And Hoka is a great place to change and grow. And I'd say right now too, just a really fun place to be, especially when you get to come do stuff like this in Orlando at the Fly Lab. It's so cool.
So can you talk to us about the trajectory of like how you got to where you are? Like what role did you start with?
I started as a tech rep in the great state of Michigan, which was an incredible experience. I think for anyone who works in a shoe store, you see those tech reps from the brands come in, and that was kind of the first time I got to really practice my craft of talking about product and teaching people about product. I mean, you do that a bit at the store level, but I think then when you're on the other side of it and you're representing for a brand, it just changes. And so you suddenly become like a brand storyteller and a product storyteller. And so that was my start. And then throughout my time working in the field, I got to meet people on the product team and really realized like, that's where I want to be. And started as a APLM, associate product line manager, and started working on stuff like color ups of entry level cross country spikes, trying to figure out like what the heck I was doing. And there was a lot of error in the trial and error piece of that early in my career. But luckily I had amazing mentors and people who just kind of pulled me along and showed me the ropes, and have worked with insanely talented people in other departments too, who have just helped shape my career so much. Yeah.
Did you feel so like, did you imagine yourself as this is where you would be? Or because
with the long title that no one can remember.
Right. I'm just imagining back when you were, trumpeting away. If that was like, if this was within the realm of possibility for you.
Well, I guess I would say like it's a little harder to pay the bills with the trumpet. So
I have seen people busking on the street. It doesn't seem like the most lucrative position.
I have been just so lucky because, like I said before, like I'm super passionate about music and I'm super passionate about running. And I just lucked out and found like a career and a role that takes some of that like presentation and stagemanship and just, I don't know, some of the attitude that playing the trumpet, because it's the coolest instrument ever, has. And then it kind of lets me do that when I talk about product and shoes. So did I picture it? No.
Yeah.
I actually feel like my career has been incredibly serendipitous, and I've worked really hard at it too, but I have also had a lot of luck and like a lot of amazing people who have helped me on the way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel in some ways it's kind of how I ended up here personally, because it was like, you like also play music, and there is something artistic about, I think, this like running and promoting running and working within it. There's something I feel like at Believe in the Run, it's like an indie band in a way, kind of just like trying to make it. So it's like has that same kind of vibe and hustle. But yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe we could talk about what we're kind of celebrating here this weekend. Do you want to get into that, Meg?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, but first I have a question, because you said this all started from your love of running.
Yeah.
Are you still running? Like, are you racing?
I have become that person that dabbles in lawn trail stuff.
Okay.
So I did 250Ks this fall,
nice.
Which was intense and awesome and crazy. And I'm kind of right now in that phase where I'm figuring out what I want to try next. Like sometimes I feel myself called back to the mile, because that's what I did in college.
50K to the mile?
I know. I am so weird. The in between stuff, I can't do what you do. Like that, I would rather run 50K than a road marathon.
I kind of understand that.
Yes.
But the mile.
I know. It's short and sweet and so awesome.
Are there some goals you're trying to get after still for the mile? Like,
don't make me say things like that out loud. That's so mean.
Throw it into the world.
I mean, I'm getting older. I'm not getting younger, but I don't know. It's really fun to feel like every once in a while you can crack under like 5:30 for a mile and just feel like there are wheels somewhere still. Nice. Maybe. Can find them. There's a lot of rust.
I like that. So tell me, for your trail races, what shoe did you wear for those?
Yeah, for the first one, I got to run a race at UTMB, which was
sick.
Insane. The snow on top of the mountain, not so awesome, but the experience as a whole was just surreal. And I wore a trail shoe prototype for that one. So a little future teaser out there.
Of a new like a new prototype?
So
Interesting.
that one actually, UTMB, I wore a prototype of a Tecton X that we're working on.
Okay.
And then the one that I did a couple weeks later in Sisters, Oregon, I wore a like spring 2025 trail prototype. So perks of being sample size.
Okay. So what's your next race if someone wants to come out and see the next Hoka trail prototypes?
People are just be following me now.
Yeah.
You just start signing up under code names.
I mean, everyone knows we can just find you on Ultra signups. So we'll see what's coming.
I'm gonna pick a fake name.
They're gonna go look at all your photos.
Yeah, I know.
Get ready for it.
I know.
Cool.
blurring them out.
Okay, but if you're racing the mile, what are you gonna lace up?
I mean, I would have to wear a Cielo Fly X.
Okay.
I would
Yeah.
go all the way.
Okay.
I would go all the way. Yeah.
So we're talking a track mile here.
Yeah, I need every possible advantage at this point in my life to run fast. So I'm
I
going
got
for
you.
it.
Nice.
And you're thinking we're gonna watch these runners on Saturday race this marathon, and you're gonna be like, no, not inspired, not running the marathon.
No, I'm going to think I want to run that pace for 1 mile 4 hours around the track.
That's the inspiration.
Yes.
Well, speaking of the runners running this Saturday, we have the newest racer from Hoka, which is pretty exciting. We've worn it for plenty of miles so far. We're talking about the Hoka Cielo X1.
Yeah.
This is a big deal.
Yeah, I think the most exciting part of my job with my team is helping figure out like our long-term strategy as a performance brand. And when we looked at what we wanted to accomplish in 2024, we kind of said, hey, what are runners looking for? They're looking for unexpected experience, and they want to be able to go really fast. And on the other end of the spectrum, they also want to be able to like recover and make those other days feel easier. So we actually briefed these two shoes that are like these two opposite ends of the spectrum for
Okay.
us as a brand.
Interesting.
Yeah. And we looked at it comprehensively, right? That was like, if we could pull the Hoka experience and dial speed up to 100% in this direction, and like cushioning and ease and recovery up 100% in this direction, what does that look like? And that is what led to these two big new shoes for spring 24 for us.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
I think people here have heard me talk about shoes a lot, but I actually want to bring in an expert on this, because here in Orlando with us in this very Fly Lab, we have our incredible senior designer who worked on this shoe, Val.
Val.
Tapping you in.
Awesome.
This is this. This is
Oh, it's fine.
this is
never
a
hurt
last minute fill in, which is kind of, speaking of serendipitous, it worked out perfectly to have you in on the show.
Yeah.
So this is exciting because we love talking to designers about a shoe, finding out kind of the why, the how, and everything else behind it. So maybe walk us through the parts of the shoe or what goes into it, and like in the specific, use case scenario or why that was designed.
Bekah spoke to it really well in that we were trying to take two ends of our spectrum and make the best of both worlds. So it was a really fun challenge for me to think about speed, but support and soft and fast. And I think we have a lot of the ingredients at Hoka to do that with, different foams and how we can combine them, and also, engineering our carbon plate to get that experience for the runner.
Yeah, the carbon plate is pretty wild because I think it's different than any carbon plate I recall seeing, because it has a couple wings on it in the forefoot and the midfoot, and then it has a pretty aggressive scoop in it as well. So can you talk about the design of that?
So we got some insights from our innovation team to pull the rocker back. So starting it a little bit sooner to get that toe off and extension. So just using the plate to exaggerate that, and also the wings to guide the foot. So it felt stable and fast at the same time.
Yeah, I gotta say, I feel like it's a super unique feeling. And I love a good rocker. The Rocket X2, I felt like just hits that sweet spot, at least in my stride. And then this shoe, when I first stepped in it, even when I first started out, just kind of like slower paces, I was like, oh, this is like a crazy feeling shoe. Like it feels different than I feel like any other shoe I've worn. Like I was like pretty shocked because I didn't expect much. I just was like, we've run in every shoe out there, so I wasn't expecting to be like completely wowed by it. Be like, okay, this is a nice P-back shoe with a plate. But I was really shocked at the kind of bouncy, propulsive, like almost like a springboard effect from the shoe.
Yeah, I think it's partly the rocker and where it starts. It's the amount of foam and wear as well, and just the combination of that firmer on the bottom and softer foam underfoot really gets that trampoline feel.
So it's a Piba midsole, and there's two layers of it sandwiched around that carbon fiber plate. So is it different densities on the bottom and the top then?
Yeah.
Okay.
A firmer on the bottom and
Yeah.
softer on the top.
Gotcha. Okay.
And you're saying that this is street legal 40 mil because it feels like you're riding on like 50. It feels like there's so much cushioning underfoot.
Yeah.
It's in a good way.
Yeah, I mean, we have spent many hours working with World Athletics just to make sure we're on top of everything, every angle, every millimeter. I think it could be, the insole as well as the foam, just how everything comes together, and the geometry as well. So we think about that as a designer, it's not just a sheet of foam, it's how you sculpt it and where you take things away and where you add foam. So.
And it has a pretty generous layer of rubber on the outsole. It's like almost, I feel like race day shoes now, it's very hard to get any rubber coverage on it. And seems like a pretty durable, like it'll hold up for a while because it's like 90% of the outsole still has rubber on it, which is
we're real conscious to make sure there was enough traction in like all situations, especially water stops, water's on the ground, and just having grooves throughout the rubber to have a place for the water to escape, and lightening it up where we could, having cutouts. And but I think it was also important from that medial side to bridge the rubber to feel like you're really stable. So having that there also makes it a nice continuous ride.
cool.
And then the upper material is different than like any shoe I own. So talk to us a little bit about that.
So it's a knit upper, but it's combined with also a mono yarn, we call it. Basically think of like a fishing line.
Okay.
So it's strong and light and adds a little bit of transparency, translucency to the shoe. So we're combining that and kind of get this color shifting effect with the striping. I think what's great about it is it allows air to come through, but it also holds your foot well.
Oh yeah, it definitely holds your foot well. It's also like impossible to get on, but once it's on, it's like it is on. Like it feels
Like suction
Yeah.
cupped.
yeah, exactly. That's a perfect description. It really does feel like that. Yeah, and not in a bad way. It's not like constrictive or any. It's just like exactly how you want a race day shoe to feel. Though I gotta say, my only thing, if there's this X1 2, which is weird to say,
There is a 2.0.
X2, okay. I would say it might add a tiny bit of weight, but a heel pull tab would be very nice to get the foot into. So that's just a note for the future.
There is a tongue pull tab.
There is a tongue one, so we're we're halfway there.
Yeah.
Bon Jovi will be happy.
You'll be surprised and awed in the next version. We're never we'll
Okay.
keep you guessing. How
All
about
right.
that?
So, okay, now last question, actually about the design at least. Tell me about these laces. I have some problems, but anyways, I just want to hear.
Oh no, it's too late to change that.
All right.
We've updated them.
The good news is
With the
laces.
next one.
The good news is
They look really cool, okay?
They do look
look
awesome.
cool.
Double knot and you'll be fine. Stick them under.
Hide them.
I couldn't resist the like aesthetic between
Yeah.
the yarn
I
and the
got
mono, but yeah.
It is easily replaceable, so that is okay. We can move on from that.
I know. Believe me, it'll be a change
That's all right.
going forward.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I gotta say, we're pretty excited about this, and obviously we're here at the trials to celebrate the launch of it. So yeah, it should be. I think people are gonna be pretty excited about it.
I am.
Yeah. And I'm excited, by the way, to see the rest of your designs coming next year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
happy to
we
talk
got
about
some-
them anytime.
Yeah.
This is the best part of the job, getting to see people race in them, to be honest.
That's awesome. Yeah. Like it's out in the wild. Your creation, your lab creation is out in the wild.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that.
Team effort, though.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of this weekend and race day, what's it look like for the athletes on the course? Are we going to see this out there then?
Yeah, you'll see at least 4 of our athletes
Okay.
representing
Nice.
the
Cool.
new shoe.
All right. I'm excited to see what they do in it. Cool.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Thanks, Val.
Yep.
Bekah, do you want to come back on?
Okay, Bekah is back here. We just chatted with Val, learned a little bit more about the details and the design of this shoe. So this is your race day shoe. We also have the Rocket X2. Where does that fall in line with this shoe?
Yeah, guess what? We have 2 amazing racing shoes now. So we wanted to reassure people the Rocket X2 is not going away. We actually really love this thought of having this 1-2 punch of shoes. So from a biomechanics perspective, probably a little bit more forefoot to midfoot striker specific with the Cielo X1.
Yeah.
little bit more well-rounded for heel strikers out there with something like the Rocket X2 if you want just a little bit more of a stable feel, but starting to build this awesome stable of racing product and adding the Cielo X1 is kind of the cherry on top for us.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
And I don't think we mentioned the price of the shoe. It's $275.
Nailed it.
Yep.
And is it widely available? What date do we have?
2-1
2/1.
tomorrow.
Oh, it's when this will be out.
Okay.
Now.
I think initials.
Yes, it's available.
But then there will be other colorways coming this summer.
Yep.
And fall.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Nice. That's
Yeah.
exciting. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm excited to see what
Yeah.
the shoe does. I really do think, and if you read our review on the website, which is up now, it's really like the most fun.
Yeah.
I would say the most fun I've had in a shoe.
Yes.
Maybe
Awesome.
ever.
Across the board, I think we all agreed it was the most fun shoe.
It's like
running should
Which should be
Yeah.
be
fun.
some fun,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
it's almost too much fun. Yeah.
That's going to be the name of our ska
Too much
band.
fun.
Too much
much
fun.
Yeah, but it has to be the number 2.
Yes.
Too much fun. Yeah.
Wow.
All right, we're in.
Circle.
Look for us in the Grammys next year, 2025, as worst performing band. Anyways.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Bekah.
Thanks, Bekah.
Thanks, everybody.